Hello, beautiful unicorns. How you guys doing today? On this lovely Friday. Yes, it's another Friday, and time just flies by, doesn't it? And yet, it stands still. So today I wanted to start off with a little bit of, I guess, a funny story. Some would think it's an embarrassing story. Some would think it's a funny story. To each their own. And that's why I thought I would start with this story to move right into today's questions that I have been receiving, which will be all about the unicorn. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but my eyebrows got darker. And that's because I've discovered this magic thing. It's eyebrow pencil. Apparently eyebrows are the thing now, and mine are pretty light, so I put that on. Anyways, long story short, on this Wednesday, I put my pencil on, and I mean, it wasn't that dark. I don't think it was, but my son comes home. He's over there, so he comes home. He goes, "Mommy, you look weird. I don't like it. Did you color your eyebrows?" And he's like covering his face. I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "I don't like it, Mommy. I want to take it off." He comes and he starts rubbing them off, and I'm like, "Oh, he's so cute." So I guess I put it on a little too dark. I mean, is it? I don't think so. Either way, I'm fine with it. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about, or asking questions around the whole spectrum, not necessarily the whole spectrum of unicorn, but what does it take to be one, right? And I had been asked this question so many times before. That's why I took the time to write all those things down of what does it take to be a unicorn, and that's why that is part of my website now. It's let me see where it is. It's on the testimonials page right under Yana Kasperczak, founder of EUA, Empathy Unicorn Academy, and it says, "What does it take to be a unicorn?" And instead of me reading all of those things off on there, I would love to hear what you think. What does it take to be a unicorn? And what is a unicorn to you? What does it mean? What does it represent to you? So in my, I don't know if you guys watched the video or not, but I will share it again. So when I was going through my own self-healing journey, and I found myself waking up in the middle of the night and quite literally being upset that I was up and just wanted to go back to sleep. And I finally listened and learned that this was my time to connect to the spirit world, if you will. So I would sit down and I meditate, and that's how I came up with the whole Empathy Unicorn Academy. And I didn't fully understand why the unicorn. I mean, I've never been the one to talk about magical creatures. I've never been the one even like really curious about the magical world, even though we are living in one. The more we pay attention, the more we realize that we're living in one. And when it came time to put my website together, and I started to really think, why did I just decided on unicorn? Why not a lion, right? Because we hear this very often, pretty much everywhere. Be the lion. A lion does not retreat. The lion will get what it fights for. A lion is strong. A lion is the king of the jungle. And in my really short, quick research, because when we do research, especially when you're doing one for yourself, in a sense of researching your competition, it should not be done for a long time. Should only spend 30 minutes doing your competitor research, and that's 30 minutes maybe once a year. because anyone who has done competitive research knows and understands just how incredibly draining it can be. And especially if you are a competitive person, like I am, like I have always been my whole entire life, I've been a competitive person. I had to be first in everything and anything that I did. So I had to learn that it's okay to come in second. And again, even then, even if I come in second, to many people, I would still be coming in first because I do it my own way. So anyways, I have learned that the reason why the unicorn came to me was that even the lion gets scared and runs when it sees a unicorn. That even the king of the jungle is terrified and petrified of a unicorn. And I started thinking about it and putting the dots together of what the unicorn actually represents to me, what it means to me, and why I came up with that. Because a unicorn, essentially what it is, it's who we all are. It's the uniqueness and the rareness of each and every one of us, and us coming and shining brightly as we were born to. It's our birthright, if you will. So yeah, I just want to share that really quick with you guys. And this is where the eyebrow conversation, like I said, many would not feel comfortable being who they truly are. But this is where the freedom lies. Just think about it for a second. How different would your life be if you allowed yourself to be who you are every single day, every minute of the day? When you didn't have to pretend to like something when you didn't. When you get to say no when you really want to say no without having to give an explanation, because quite often all of us can find ourselves saying no followed by but because of this and this and that, because we feel bad and we experience guilt, maybe shame, and it doesn't feel good to say no, right? Because we feel like we are failing this other person. But if we just reverse that for just 1 second and think about it this way, by you saying no to helping someone with what they are doing or about to do, what you're actually doing is you are allowing them to go through it on their own and learn all that they possibly can on their own, as opposed to you coming in and taking some of that potentially incredible education from that individual, right? Thinking of our children, if we did every single thing for our children, they would not learn. There's a definition for that. It's helicopter parents. Well, I was one of those. I was doing every single thing for my kids so they wouldn't have to, because it was easier that way for them and it was easier that way for me, and it would be done a lot quicker and simpler. Whereas in the long run, that's not what we want. We don't want them to depend on us their whole life. We want them to do it on their own. And I know I've said that a couple of times, but I believe that this is such an important topic that we don't talk about it very often, because we might feel uncomfortable and icky about it. But if we are not talking about it, then we're also not necessarily dealing with it. So the first question that I got was, how do I get rid of my fear? This is the question time now. This is the fun part, okay, guys? So get ready. I don't answer every question that I get right as I get them, because I don't particularly answer them when I get them. I let people know, you come check out the video to hear you answer, but some people can't wait, so I do answer the question for them, but then it's personalized. So, and that's, I mean, if you want that as well, you gotta send, I'm like cold, and that's why I'm like shaking a little bit. If you could feel my hands, you'd be like, I like to put them on my son because he's really warm, like on his ribs. And he goes, cold. I'm like, oh, warm. So I'm cold. So just Be patient. I guess that's the word. So anyways, if you want me to answer your questions personally, you got to ask them personally. You got to ask them in my inbox, and then I will answer them for you. And I will also answer them on here. And the answers can also be quite different because this one is personalized and this one will be more generalized. So how do I get rid of my fear? That question, I mean, I remember even asking myself this question day after day after day after day. And what I've noticed myself is that by simply asking that question day after day after day, eventually I heard the answer. And I heard my answer. And for the most part, the answer is the same for everyone. And the answer is this: it's probably not what you want to hear. Okay? There is no band-aid. There is no pill you can take to get rid of it. There's pretty much one solution. And that one solution is go after your fears. Face them head on. And if I wish I could take it away from you, and I wish I could do it for you, but going back to the child conversation we just had, and that's why I had that before this, is that you are a child. I'm sorry, but you are a child. I am a child. My parents are children. My in-laws are children. The seniors at the senior home where I volunteered were all children. And to me, I recognize that I don't see age as anything, really. It's just something that we are told to keep track of, and something that in a way does create limitations. Why is it that one 90-year-old is more than capable of not necessarily running a marathon, but being part of a marathon, and maybe even running a marathon, being very active, being out there, enjoying their life like they are 50 years old, while other 90-year-olds are in the bed and constantly reminding themselves how sick they are and being scared of how sick they are? That's because they have created certain kind of stories and limitations in their mind. Now, how do I get rid of my fear? That is, like I said, that is a very popular question. Very popular question, because each and every one of us has fears. I have fears. I do. Believe it or not, I have fears, and I have lots of fears. But I do what I teach you to do about it. I face them head on. I do. I push through my anxiety. I push through my panic attacks sometimes, and I go after my fears. And it's like, how do I identify what I'm scared of? When I have my session with my coaches, one or the other, or when I have a session with the client, sometimes my fears can come up in the session as well. And what that does, it helps me to identify that fear, what that fear actually is. And then I will figure out of how I can start going towards that fear and tackling it. Live video was one of my biggest fears. Like, I'll tell you a secret of what I went through when I started doing my videos. Okay, if you don't want to hear gross things, skip over this part. When I started doing my videos, and this happened for about, I think 5 months. So it took about 5 months for me to be somewhat okay and comfortable on video while I had a script. You start however you want, right? With whatever your fear is identified, and then you figure out what you're going to do about it. I would throw up and I would have diarrhea before And after each video I did, I would be hyperventilating before and after. You couldn't necessarily see it in the video, but at the same time, you could if you pay attention and you know how to read a person and see. I see so many women out there right now that are in that stage where I was, and I see it and I can understand what they're going through, and it makes me so freaking proud to see that there are other people who are pushing through that fear and through that anxiety. To me, that was the biggest, scariest thing I went through. I'm not going to go through the list because I want to go through the questions, the other list that I have on here, but that is just one example. And at the same time, it wasn't the scariest thing, because the other scariest thing I went through was waking up one morning when I was pregnant and having severe cramps, calling my mother, telling her about it, and she tells me to call the emergency. They came to pick me up, and I ended up delivering 2 stillborn babies. Now that is a whole different level of fear that anyone can go through. And I minimize that for myself, and I tell myself, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. People have gone through worse. But anyone who has gone through a loss wouldn't say that it's not nothing. Wouldn't say that it's nothing. They would say it's a huge hurdle for anyone to overcome and still come out on the other side smiling and helping others to smile through their pain and grief. So, fear, head on. Face it head on. Now, am I going to be jumping out of a helicopter anytime soon? No. Why? I don't really have time for that. And because that is not the fear that I really want to go after. There's many other fears that I have that are going to support my personal growth. That's the fears that I really move towards and face head first or head on. Okay? So next question. How do I know if I have social anxiety and get rid of it if I do? So now I'm not an expert on social anxiety, but what I can tell you is, first of all, educate yourself. Educate yourself, educate yourself, educate yourself. Read online. There's so much information on there. Watch videos. There are so many different ways, platforms you can watch the videos. I prefer YouTube. There's podcasts you can listen to, and you can identify if that's what you have. And then if that is one of your fears, because anxiety is a fear, right? If that is part of it, if you choose to go after that first, go after that. Little by little. I'm not telling you to be like me in a way, because I have learned, and it's taken me time to get to where I am now, where if I identify a fear, what I do is I jump into the deep end, and then I will learn to swim, because quite literally that's how I also learned to swim when I was little, by nearly drowning. So that's how I do things. I'm not suggesting you do things the same way, because you're different. You know what works for you, and I know what works for me. So for me, I identify the fear, and then I decide, okay, this is what I'm going to be going after right now, and here's why. Because the reasons why will help me to keep going, right? So with social anxiety, if you identify that you have social anxiety, and how you can identify for the most part is if you prefer to be alone instead of spending time with people, most likely you have social anxiety. If you prefer to have one-on-one conversations and you have a very difficult time being in a group setting, that could be a sign of social anxiety. Okay, and I don't have a whole list of all these different ways of how you can tell, but do your research, and if that's what you believe you have, chances are you might actually have it, because your intuition tells you this is what it could be. And now with everything going on with COVID and people quite literally being isolated, those people that do have social anxiety, they feel happy. They feel happier and more joyful because they don't have to go and socialize with people, right? And again, if that's what you have, you can figure out or you want me as your coach, I can help you figure out what steps you can take to move towards overcoming this fear of yours. I would personally say the best way to start is crawl, right? Depending how severe it is. But first, start to crawl, whatever that means to you. I'm not telling you to go out there and have a party or host a party. I'm not telling you to go out there and start talking to strangers. For you, it might be as simple as connecting with someone. For you, it might be as simple as having a conversation with me. Someone who will understand and allow you to be yourself and allow you to be as awkward as you are and love it. And love it. I believe that all of us are weird, all of us are awkward, all of us are unique and rare and one of a kind. And that alone is the most beautiful thing that you can be. That is what a unicorn is. Knowing who you are and embracing it. And not shying away from it. Not trying to be somebody you're not. Not trying to be like me. Not trying to be like your BFF. Not trying to be like your mother or your other friend or somebody else that you saw online and you think that they're perfect and you want to be just like them. So yeah, so there's that question. And I mean, at the same time, I also answered how you would get rid of it. It's just the same, kind of the same thing as with fear. Just you got to face it head on, but without overdoing it too much, knowing your limit and going just a tiny bit above your limit. Because where you set your bar, it's usually higher than you set it. Seriously, it's usually higher than where you set it. So last question. And how are we for time? Not too bad. Why would I want to, or how would it change my life if I showed up as myself in every situation? So in this question, basically what I hear is unicorn. Why would I want to be a unicorn? Or how would being the unicorn change my life if I showed up as myself in every situation? As you might have heard throughout the whole conversation, I did share a few different reasons as to why would you want to, and you can decide for yourself, or how it would change your life. So one thing I'll say is, how would it shorten it? So when you are who you are and you embrace who you are and you live in your truth, you get to say what you want to say without holding things back and without experiencing guilt, shame, or anger or disappointment or whatever else might be attached to you saying what it is that you want to say. Going back to the child, of potentially taking education away from a child when we do things for that child. So when we say what we want to say or do what we want to do, we have been taught and trained since childhood to think about the other person as well. And of course, I'm not telling you not to, but I'm also telling you to think of it in a little bit in a different way. That when you say what you want to say, instead of holding it back, instead of holding it in yourself and then carrying that for minutes, days, hours, or whatever, right? Because sometimes we want to say something, but we don't, and we continue to replay that conversation in our mind, and it creates catabolic feelings and emotions and energy. Catabolic is destructive, okay? It eats at us. It drains us. So that's what can happen. But if you released it and you said what you wanted to say, you could potentially help that person by, first of all, understanding you more. Because if you're not speaking openly and honestly, then you're not really being yourself. And then how are people supposed to know who you truly are? And at the same time, people are going to judge you regardless. People are probably sitting here, I can pretty much guarantee you, you're watching this right now and you're making some sort of judgments about me. Now, if I was scared of that, I wouldn't be doing these videos, right? And that's what really prevents a lot of people from taking action on what they truly want, is fear of what others might think, fear of what others might say, fear of how others might laugh at us. But yet, they're too scared to do this. Most people are too scared to come on live. And I'm not saying you are, I'm saying I was. I was those most people. And if people are going to judge you regardless, why not give yourself the best chance of, why not allow them to judge the real you? Because they're going to judge you regardless. So if they're judging the person, the you that is trying to be somebody else, if they're judging that person, then you're not giving yourself a fair trial, because you don't allow them to judge the real you. So then they can decide for themselves. If the real you is not working for them, then that's fine. You'll find people that the real you will work for them. And once you do, it's incredible. Once I allowed myself to be the real self and said yes to things I wanted to say yes to, and met the people that I wanted to meet and that wanted to meet me, and I allowed myself to be myself in these conversations, people either got more attracted to me and my personality and wanted to be in the closer circle of friends, or they said, she's too much. I don't think so. And you know what? That's fine. I'm not everyone's cup of tea and not everyone's cup of coffee. I mean, some people like pop, some people don't. I don't. Many people do, right? So, yeah, pop, every time I drink pop, even just a little bit, right away, I want to burp. So what else? For this question, I kind of written out a few responses. And I think I pretty much said everything. You get to do and be yourself and step into your own light. And in you being yourself, what you're also doing, this is the most beautiful part of it all, in my experience and in my opinion, is that when you show up as your true self, when you show up as your unicorn self and you shine as brightly as you can, what you're doing is you are allowing others to do the same thing. You allow others to do the same thing, and you allow them basically to take a pause and want to be themselves. And that is, I mean, you don't have to do what I do. You can do what you do. And if you are just showing up as yourself in every interaction, especially with your children, then you are allowing all of those people on the receiving end to really understand who you are. And then, like I said, they're going to judge you regardless. And then they can judge you. And judging doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Okay? We all judge. It's just part of the human nature. We meet someone and we see if that person is for us or not. That's judging, right? You see me on here and you might think that I'm too much energy, too high, talk too much, talk too fast, not for me. And you know what? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I would not ask you for anything less and for anything more. Honestly. Because what this allows you to do is, what you're doing is you're trying to identify your tribe. You're trying to find your people. And if I'm not your people, perfect. Go and find yours. I encourage you to go and find your people, because when you do, that is when you experience wealth. Wealth is not just monetary. Wealth is in here. There are so many people that have no money, but they have all the friends and family and love that would ever need, and they feel rich, because that is where the richness, the wealth comes from. It is a feeling. It is not something that you have. It is a feeling. And there are wealthy people out there who wish they didn't have all that money so they would not feel so alone. So I ask you now a question. What kind of wealth do you want to have in your life? It doesn't have to be just one. You can have any kind of wealth, or as many kind of wealths as you want. But is wealth of the relationships part of it, or are you Scrooge McDuck sitting on the pile of coins and money and saying, all mine, I'm not sharing it with anyone because everyone is out to get me, everyone wants my money, everyone wants my stuff? I know people like that, and those are not in my life.
Wave.
Oh, she's gonna be thank you, assistant. I'm about to say bye, by the way.
No.
Yeah, the kids are home today. They have PA day.
I'm hungry. No, it's Payday Day.
It's Payday Day. That was Payday Day like 5 years ago for you when you used to say that.
I'm hungry.
Good, because I think I'm getting hungry now. I haven't even finished my coffee, so I'm gonna
And I haven't finished breakfast.
Yeah, oh yeah, you did. You ate so many sausages.
I ate 3.
3. You look like you eat a lot more. Anyways, you can finish it. I can warm it up for you. I can make some more food.
Can I eat upstairs while I watch Netflix, or should I watch it down here?
Down here.
Oh, okay.
I gotta do some work now. Now to the serious stuff that I gotta do. This is fun. I love doing this. So
I'm so pretty on camera.
If you're pretty on camera, can you imagine how pretty you are in real life? Sure, you don't have to imagine. You can go look in the mirror. Wow. So this is my oldest offspring. Some of you I know have missed her.
Me?
Yeah. Some people have asked me, "Where's Mila? I haven't seen her in live video for a while."
Oh, because I hang out with my friends a lot because I'm bored at home.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
Well, no quarantine now.
Not right now, but like.
You're back in school, but today guys have Payday Day. And then Monday you guys are off again.
We are?
Yeah.
Why?
And I get to do a live video on Monday as well.
Oh, I'll join you.
Maybe her and I can do a live video together. What do you guys think?
Yes, please say yes. I really want to.
Whether they say yes or no, you and I can do it anyways. We'll just come up with a topic for everyone that everyone can relate to.
Didn't we want to make maybe like 1 or 2 before together? Didn't we make 1 or 2 videos together before?
Yeah, we made a couple of videos together before. I remember you talked about goals a couple of times.
Oh yeah. That was like last year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I'm back. Hi.
Yeah. She took a break. We all took a break.
I'm tired.
I took a break too.
I woke up at 8:45 and I just fell asleep before hanging out with. No, like 5 minutes after hanging out with Kathleen, Kate, and then I watched that for a little bit and I fell asleep. I'm watching. So over again. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here and ask everyone another question. I love questions. It's
me too.
It's what I do for a living, quite literally. So the question I'm gonna ask all of you is the question that I like to ask my kids. And
What question? Oh, I know which question. Okay.
She can answer that question, and I would love to hear what answers you have for us
now.
Yeah, once people watch, because not everybody's available during the day, right? So anyways, the question is this: what did you learn about yourself today?
Can I answer?
Go.
Yes. So I learned about myself that I could be I could get sometimes I'm a little bit unresponsible, but I could be responsible when I want to. And also that I could be a better person, like mentally and also physically. Sorry, Mom, I'm still really used to looking at the actual camera.
I know, I'm just pointing to the camera. It's like, look at the camera. Practice, practice, practice.
But when I think, I look, oh wait.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
And that I'm a responsible person, and that I could be like smart when I want to be. Like when I was at school, I was like being really confident, because like I'm not the most confident person like that you ever met, or if you even meet me before. I could be really confident when I want to. Like, for example, this actually happened last week. I was super nervous. I had to present an article. I did one about COVID-19. I spent most of my class time working on this. But when I go home, I wasn't really responsible. I wasn't really working on it, because I'm being honest. I'm not lying.
Oh, I know. I already know this.
Yeah. That I wasn't really responsible. I would rather hang out with my friends, because I get really tired at school. Like, I think everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a headache. I told my teacher, but I didn't want to tell my teacher, because I didn't want to stay home for 2 weeks. Because if you feel sick at school, you have to stay home for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to tell my teacher, because I wanted to catch up. But I was already caught up, but I wanted to.
Now, can I pause you right there?
Yeah.
I asked, what did you learn about yourself today?
I already said.
Can you repeat and just answer the question? Because you were going over a week of what you've learned about yourself this week.
My head hurts.
Am I making you think too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also because I'm super tired.
So today, what did you learn about yourself today?
Let me think for 1 second. Okay. That I could be nicer to my brother, because if you're an older sibling, your little sibling could be annoying, and I need to practice on being a little nicer to my little brother, and that I could be a little more responsible. Like I already said that. Like I can be nicer to my family members and more loving if I wanted to be.
Okay. Now, what would be the first small step that you can take to improve those two areas of being nice to your brother and being responsible?
Responsible, maybe if I have homework, I can like do it at school, which I already do sometimes, most of the time. Or I can like if I have like a project, for example, like let's just say I have to do a poster of kindness or something. I'm not saying I have to do one, because I don't have to, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Let's just say I have to do a poster of kindness and like self-control or something. I'll come home, bring that home and do it, and like let's get it over with. And for goodness to my brother, maybe I can like spend more time with him, and like if he annoys me, like maybe ignore him.
Okay. What can you do today? One thing that you can do today for both of those things.
For being responsible?
For being responsible and for being nice to your brother. What's one thing that you can do today?
Okay, so this morning my little brother was kind of being annoying, because I was tired, I was cranky, I was hangry, let's just say. Okay, I don't like noises like burping on purpose, or like, I don't know, like just random noises I don't really like. I don't like it. It gets me really mad, because like it makes me irritated. And maybe one thing I can do to make that like be nicer to him, I can maybe like ignore it and like just don't think about it and like leave it alone. And to be responsible, I can maybe like not be controlling over my brother and like be more like, because I wasn't really feeling positive today because like I felt like not confident. I don't know why. It's not really the best day. And you said something about responsible. Yeah. Maybe like for myself, I could be responsible for like making my own food because I have to practice that. Organizing myself, like my room could be more organized.
Okay, that's a big list already.
Just have lots of stuff because I like talking.
I know. I know. So maybe you can do your own videos like this. Mini Empath Unicorn Academy for minis, for the kiddos. We'll think of that.
It's a dragon. It's a dragon.
We'll think of that. Anyways, let's wrap it up here.
Sorry that it took long.
No, that's okay. If people want to watch, they can watch and they get to see the real you. Right? This is what this is about everyone. And today the topic is unicorn. Right? Being the unicorn. What does it take to be a unicorn? And you are here sharing what it means. And that the benefit of being yourself at any age.
Everyone has feelings, okay? If you get mad at yourself, or like, for example, you get mad at yourself because you're not organized or something, like, let it be. Take some time, put on some music, and fix it. Like, if you have homework to do, like anyone, like, if you have something to do, like, just put on some calming music, maybe take a nap, like, get, like, what's the word I should use? Maybe, like I said, like, fix it before it, like, breaks, and, like, you get, like, if something doesn't go my way, like, I get upset, like, that happens to everyone, like, my brother Ethan, like, he annoys me, like,
that's normal. It happens with all siblings. And what I think you're trying to say, or what I hear you say, is that when something doesn't go the way that you want it to go, doesn't go according to plan, you experience catabolic feelings and emotions. You get upset.
I was trying to find catabolic.
Catabolic. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to increase your energy and shift from catabolic to anabolic by listening to music, taking a nap, watching Netflix.
I do that.
I know, that's what I'm just saying, the things that you use, that's your medicines.
And also looking at nature. Like, it relaxes your mind. Like, just take a walk, like, just take a nice long walk, like, just put on some music, just, like, look at nature, and, like, just...
Or talk to someone, whether it's a friend, whether it's your mom.
Talk to a loved one. Or, like, I wasn't feeling really good today, so I called my friend Caitlin. She helped me a lot, okay? She is like my savior. Seriously. I call her every time I'm upset. Like at school, I had a presentation. I was super nervous like the recess before. I went to my friend Caitlin and I talked to her.
Yeah. But learning how to do that on your own without relying on anyone externally, that should be our goal.
I'm practicing on that, yeah.
I know. I don't expect you to know it all in a day or overnight, but that's our goal, long-term goal. So anyways, that's all for all of you beautiful unicorns out there. You got to see my little unicorn, mini-corn. Ooh, I like it. Mini-corns.
Me too.
So if you want videos with mini-corns for your mini-corns, we can do that. You just gotta let us know. Because if you don't want it, we'll put it somewhere else for others that do want it. Because you don't want it, others might want it. So, mini corn to the rescue for the other minis out there. So,
are you talking about me? How the other mini unicorns? Oh my god, that makes my heart. Thanks.
Yeah, why not? Gotta help other kids your age to embrace who they are and understand who they are.
What was that girl's name? That she was 10 years old, my age, and like going on the stage. What was her name again?
Oh, Sabrina Cardone, Grant Cardone's daughter. Check out
watch
Check her out on YouTube.
I watch one of her videos.
Incredible. She's 10 years old, and I'm like,
my age.
Woo, fearless. That can be you, and better, but your own way.
Everyone's special in their own. I'm gonna say something.
We're gonna say bye for like hours.
All of you unicorns are what I was gonna say. You guys are all special in your own way, okay? If someone says you're not special, say like, okay, people don't like me at school because they think I'm annoying. When they say I'm annoying, I get upset, but then after I say to myself, do I think I'm annoying? And I say no, because I'm not annoying. I don't think I'm annoying. Mm-hmm. Like you say, like you help me, like when, let's say, I broke up with my friend, my best friend Rebecca, that I had been friends with for like 6 years. No, okay. Yes. No, like 4.5 years actually, I think. It was like 6. It was like yesterday. Okay, let's say I'm not her friend anymore because like we had a disagreement. And then my mom will help me. And like...
Now, can I tell you a little secret about when people point things out in you that they don't like? So here's a secret. The only way someone can recognize and say what they don't like about you is if they have it in themselves, which means that they sometimes might think that they are annoying or have been told that they are annoying, so they might start to think or believe that they are. That's how they recognize that in other people.
They want everyone to feel the same way they did.
Because if they didn't have it in themselves, they would not be able to even see it and notice it in anyone else. That's just like, that's where when I talk about the mirror, when we're talking to someone and what we notice in someone that we're talking about or talking to, what we notice in them, we have in ourselves. So whether it's positive or negative, we do have that within ourselves. But let's wrap it up. This video has been long enough. I don't want people to use the length of video as an excuse not to watch it, because some people do that.
Really? Why?
Because it's too long. I don't have time. Whereas if they made time for it and didn't see it as it's too long and I don't have time, the whole time concept in their mind would shift as well, because that is a level 1 response.
Is that catabolic or anabolic?
Yes, catabolic. I don't have time. I can't do it. I can't afford it. It's catabolic.
Is anabolic like positive?
Yep.
And like catabolic is like
negative.
Negative.
Yeah. Draining.
Draining energy.
Yeah. Whereas anabolic, it's fueling. It's healing energy. So when we are feeling low, when we're feeling bad, when we're feeling sad, there is catabolic energy present.
I have catabolic energy.
And in order for that shift to happen, everyone has their own things of what they can do that will help them to increase their anabolic energy, therefore decreasing catabolic energy.
Is level 4 like really positive? Like what?
Well, level 4...
You keep talking about level 1 to level 4. Like I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's going to be on our workshop coming up December 14th and 15th.
Oh, that's 4 days before my birthday.
Oh, right before your birthday. I'm going to be doing a workshop with Rachel, December and we're going to be talking quite a bit about level 1 and level 4 and they're going to be at school. But anyways, let's say bye.
Okay, bye, unicorns.
That's it.
Have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye, everybody, and thanks for watching, and looking forward to hearing your responses. And looking forward to receiving more of your questions for next Friday. And until then.
I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Can I press finish?
Yes.